Well, there we go, another rally done, and the first of 2025, a history made with Sébastien Ogier making his 10th victory here. So another moment in history marked down in Sébastien Ogier's career. An absolutely incredible moment, and a very, very sweet moment as well, where he says his lucky star was with him this weekend. What a way to start off 2025. Certainly in style for the Monte Master, 10 times the charm. Will he stop there? That's what he said, didn't he? I can't imagine he'll leave it there. But an incredible moment, and just a little bit more history written into the Sébastien Ogier history books. Well, the power stage certainly provided everything we'd hoped for and more. To be honest, Monte-Carlo provided everything we'd hoped for and more. Just winning that power stage as well. So he's actually taken the power stage points. So Sébastien Ogier has taken the full force of all of the points as well from that power stage. And of course, finishing overnight on Saturday. So we'll get all the points on the screen for you in a bit, just so you know who's standing where as we head into Sweden. Our championship standings have already begun for 2025, and there are the celebrations. Champagne, that's what all three of them have been waiting for. An absolutely brilliant performance by Adrian Formeau as well, his first rally at Hyundai. Thanking the team as he finished the power stage. Plenty more to come from that young man, I am sure. Elfyn Evans holding on. I'm not sure we thought he would, in fact, but Elfyn Evans holding on, putting an incredible performance into that power stage, and just losing out to maximum points from Sébastien Ogier just by that small moment he had. Well, the photo that all of them have been waiting for. It's been a long time coming. Monte-Carlo is an enormous stint, 3 stages starting on Thursday. So it's a big old effort to get yourselves to Sunday and onto that podium. And not so many disasters either. Tayan Newville, as he crossed that finish line, saying, yeah, it wasn't the best weekend for him. But for those 3, it was everything that they could have hoped for. And Johan Rosso, of course, winning WRC 2. He was so happy to be taking that victory. And we've got our Forum 8 winner as well, which is Oliver Johan Russell. Do you know what, Chenny? You can come in and join me. It is. We are. We thought we'd take a bit of a Monty risk. You'll see it in a sec. All right. So Johan Russell actually took the Forum 8 most stage wins as well there. He was faultless all weekend.
Yeah, I mean, look, Johan Russell did a superb job for the entire weekend. As I was saying in commentary,
Can you breathe?
Yeah, you picked a long way to walk as well. This is a long way from the commentary box. There was never really a stage where he absolutely dominated, was there? There were a couple of stages where Nikolai Gryzin was off the pace, but Johan just approached the entire rally with so much maturity and just kept continuing to consistently add to his advantage. And that's what you have to do in Monte-Carlo. And there was a lot of pressure on him coming into this weekend, and particularly coming into the final stage. And we actually saw him make a couple of mistakes in that final stage as well. He nearly dropped it twice, nearly took the rear corner off it once as well, and but got it to the end. And I have to say, it's a well-deserved victory. I think it's his 3rd victory here, so incredible. Yeah, it is indeed. Okay, well, I was talking a little bit because I was watching the champagne celebrations while you were running down here, so I had a bit more of a relaxed time. But I'm glad to hear that, Kiri. Yeah.
How many more marks in history can Sébastien Ogier leave?
You can't answer that question. The man is so good, and it's through experience that he has won this rally. He put pressure on people on Thursday night, even though he made a mistake himself. He was very, very lucky to get away with it, but he is, he's so good at what he does. He's a master of his art, and in particular, where Seb is better than everybody else, and that's a very, very difficult thing to say, because everybody is so good at the top flight. The competition is so stiff, but Seb is so good at feeling grip and carrying speed onto low grip surfaces. That's where he makes up the time, and he's used all of his experience of Monte-Carlo, he absolutely deserved to win this rally. Nobody else deserved to win this rally more than Sébastien Ogier this weekend, and he's done it. Yeah, absolutely incredible performance. And yeah, I'm not sure when he said maybe we'll leave it there. I don't quite know what he meant by that, but I don't think he will. Either way, I don't believe any of it. Yeah, I mean, look at last year. He said he was only going to do a part season. They ended up hanging around for a little bit. He's currently leading the World Championship. So will he stick around? I don't know. I'd certainly like to have Sébastien Ogier hanging around the World Championship for as long as possible.
Yeah, all right, well, let's just listen into his end of stage interview after winning the power stage and winning Rallye Monte-Carlo 2025.
You're giving us all tears in our eyes. That's 10 times Rallye Monte-Carlo winner, and you won the power stage by 0.3 of a second.
By how much?
0.3.
To my teammate or to Adrien?
To Adrien.
Sorry, I asked about...
No, to Elvin, sorry.
Okay. I don't know where to start. What a weekend. I think I had my lucky star with me this weekend. Must be my uncle, who lost us 1 year ago. I'm sure he was bringing me everything, and this one is for him. Quite a few moments this weekend. Yeah, like I said, my lucky star was there.
10 times, Seb. That's some achievement.
I don't know what it means, but for me, the world, this rally never disappoints. I have no idea if my last one now, or maybe it will be a good one to start, maybe, to stop. Thank you.
Molly Pettit there doing the interview, and I can assure you she was crying. That girl literally cries at every major sporting event. She's always crying.
Curie, Bex was in tears. I had a big lump in my throat. You couldn't not be. You know, this sport means so much to us, and when you see people like Sebastian Ogier, we're lucky enough to be around these guys. So, you know, we get to know them as well, and that was so sincere, so genuine from Sebastian Ogier, dedicating it to his uncle as well. And you know, he said maybe it's a good time to stop. I think it's a bad time to stop, Seb. You just keep on digging,
you keep going until you can't anymore. All right, well, Sebastian Ogier, as you well know by now, is the overall winner of Rallye Monte-Carlo. It was Elvin Evans. We weren't sure he would hold on to that place, but he did. He held on. Adrian Formeau, who has put in the most impressive performance there. And then Kalle Rothenpera taking Oyt Tanak just at the power stage, sitting fourth, Oyt Tanak in fifth. Thierry, a bit of a disappointing weekend, but there's no harm there. There's plenty more to come from him this season. In sixth, seventh is Macalane, and Johan Russo actually takes the position there in our top 10.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable rally. Well, do you know one thing I will say? It was a real shame to see, because we were talking about it in the services, in the media zones rather, in the evenings, how all the Rally 1 cars had made it to the end, how all the Rally 1 cars were there on Saturday night, and sadly we lost Sami Pajari and Takamoto Katsuta, and I think Taka would have been a bit of a force to reckon with today as well in the conditions. So real shame they weren't there, but great to see Josh Macalane as well leading the Ford contingent after a disaster for Gregoire Monster.
Well, I did see Sami. He just briefly saw Sami in the service park, and he was so disappointed. You could really see on his face he was just really disappointed. But there is so much more to come from Sami, and I know those moments are hard, but they do make you.
Yeah, for sure, you're absolutely right. And listen, it's Monte-Carlo. You're going to have those problems. You're going to have those issues. And it was, for me, that was the most difficult stage of the entire weekend. Look at the conditions. I mean, it was just so difficult. He's just been caught out on the brakes coming into this bridge, and it was a big impact. He's nailed the front of the bridge. The car's just turned around. The back lifted up and then dropped down into the ravine. It was quite a big impact. Just couldn't get it stopped on the snow and ice. Very unfortunate for Sami, but Kiri, yes, that's an expensive mistake to make. Yes, he's gutted, because actually throughout the weekend he hasn't been driving at 100%. He told me that. He said that I can drive this car quicker. Okay. Josh Macalane was the same. So for him, that'll be the bit that's annoyed him the most, is he wasn't driving the car quickly, and he still made the mistake. We know the pace of Sami Pajari. We saw what he did in Finland last year in a Rally 1 car. There's lots more to come from him.
Lots more to come. Sorry, well, I did jump out of order. We were heading to Elvin Evans, then we got to Sami Pajari, but let's go back to Elvin Evans, because Elvin Evans was in second, he was in third, he was in second, he was in third. And then, to be fair, we hedged our bets a bit and thought, oh, he's probably not going to keep second through that power stage with what we saw from Adrian Formeau in the stage before. But Elvin just pulled out an absolutely incredible power stage. To be fair, also had a little moment.
Yeah, had a big moment, I would say, you know, just about a kilometre from the end of the stage. But, you know, you can't take anything away from Adrian Formeau. What I would say, Kiri, is actually that the conditions came to Elvin. You know, if the stage had been like the middle stage of today's loop, Elvin wouldn't have had the right tyres, and Adrian Formeau could potentially have even won this rally. There's that moment there, just overstepping the mark. That started way earlier. He was way offline coming through the left-hander. Yeah, and he was lucky to get away with it. But, yeah, nonetheless, you can't take anything away from Adrian Formeau. I just think that Sebastian Ogier and Elvin Evans were delighted to see a little bit of snow and ice on the Col de Turini. That saved them, because they had studs. If that was a bone-dry stage, they'd have been in big trouble.
So Thierry Newville and Tanak are infamous for being incredible drivers. They've both got World Championship titles. And Adrian Foremost steps into that team and then takes a podium position above them. There is going to be a serious bit of competition in Hyundai this season, Ethan.
Yeah, absolutely. Adrian's done a brilliant job, hasn't he? I mean, I've said it all weekend. When you join a new team, it's not just the fact that you're driving a new car. It's new engineers you're working with. It's new mechanics. You have to get used to their workflow. And, you know, everything works completely differently when you go from somewhere like M Sport to Hyundai. Adrian has learned that very quickly, and I have to say, Thursday night and Friday morning he was spectacular, and he was wringing the neck. He was taking some really big risks in the car and was getting away with them, and ultimately, look, at the end of the weekend, we know how good Adrian Foremost is. I'll be honest, Kiri, if someone had said to me, do you think Adrian Foremost is going to finish ahead of Tanak or Thierry Newville this weekend, I would have said no. He's outpaced a pair of them, and he stuck it on the podium. He means business, and mentally he's very, very strong. That's one of the key strengths that Adrian Foremost has got. Tanak and Thierry Newville, 2 world champions, as you said. They're very good at playing mind games. Adrian Foremost won't have any of it. He'll look at them and go, yeah, okay, and walk off. Boom, water off a duck's back. He's going to do well this year.
Now, this is what we wanted to see. As you mentioned already, Chenny, it is Sebastian Ogier that is actually leading our points at the moment. So these are the points that have been received after the first round of the 2025 season. So it's 33 there, and then you can see 26 and 20, and then 18 and 11. I've never had a problem with my eyes ever, Jenny, and I can hardly see that. But that is the points that have been... That is the points that have been accrued at the moment. So here is the Drivers' Championship. Not really.
Get your monocle.
We've got 33 for Sebastian Ogier. We don't know what rounds he's doing. It is a part season. So then we will see in Sweden, Elvin Evans first on the road, so 26 points, then 20, then Kalle Rothenpera down there in 4th after what was a great Sunday for Kalle. Adrian Foremost with 20 points, ahead of, importantly, his teammates Tanak and Thierry Newville there. Thierry just with 9 points at the moment. Now, we do know that last year, Thierry's championship title campaign started in Monte-Carlo, so as much as still we've got 13 rounds to go, it is important to collect the points wherever you can. So Thierry now on the back foot.
Yeah, in many years past, and it's just a bizarre coincidence, we shouldn't read too much into it, but in the majority, whoever has won Monte-Carlo has actually gone on to win the championship, and we saw that last year with Thierry Newville. Now, Sebastian Ogier has won Monte-Carlo. Whether or not he sticks around remains to be seen. But, yeah, for sure, I think for our current world champion, Thierry Newville, it hasn't been the best start to the year, has it? His pace on Thursday night was absolutely spectacular, leading the rally. Yeah. And then from there on, it all started to unravel with a couple of mistakes. Obviously, took the rear left wheel off the car with that incident out, breaking himself into a hairpin. And then, funnily enough, had the same problem again in the afternoon. Here we go. I think this is the morning.
Yeah.
So that's the first time he's gone off, and then look, that bang, that's a big hit, and it's just unfortunate that the rear corner has taken the majority of the impact. I'd say 8 times out of 10 you'd probably get away with that, but unfortunately it did a lot of damage, and Thierry Newville did manage to get it back to service. That was the first of his issues.
Almost unbelievable that it happened in exactly the same place in the stage that ran in the afternoon.
Well, here we go. Now, he says he had a puncture, a front left puncture at that point, but for me, looking at that, he's still braking very, very late into that right-hander. So, yeah, exactly the same place, almost a carbon copy. He did have a front right puncture. No, front left puncture, I beg your pardon. But yeah, I think he was still braking very, very bravely going down into that hairpin. Regardless, the damage had been done. And then he had an issue where he dropped another 50 seconds having to do a full PCM ECU reset in the car. That was the first stage. Yeah, first stage Saturday morning. So it all just unraveled for him. We know how good he is in Sweden, though. He'll come back fighting, and he's got a good road position as well.
And as ever, the internet never fails to disappoint. But look at this. Thierry Newville now on Google Maps has his own designated corner. So now Google will remember forever Thierry into that corner. And what is most amusing is that then humans never fail to disappoint either. We've got some fantastic reviews of the area, one of which says that they went there and damaged their tyre. See what they did. I see what they did there. See what they did. Absolutely hilarious. But that happens, doesn't it, around the world? There's all sorts of corners. So Thierry now embedded into the history.
I mean, he was sort of asking for it to drop it in the same place twice. You normally learn the lesson the first time round, don't you? But no, look, it's the way it went. And to be honest with you, by that point anyway, the rally result had gone, Kiri.
Yes, so it wasn't. If you want to see what we were just talking about, type it into your Google Maps. Other maps are available just in case. Type it in and you'll find the Newville Corner there, which is absolutely brilliant. OK, right, let's talk about a man that may have not finished the rally but got his first stage win, so you can't take that away from him.
Gregoire Monster was my driver of certainly of the morning on Friday. I think he did a brilliant job, and then again into Saturday. Unfortunately, Friday night, let's just jump back. Friday night, he had, after a brilliant day, he'd had a mechanical with the engine, and the guys worked at M-Sport worked very, very hard. None of you will know just how close they came to retiring that car, and it was, I mean, like moments away. And Gregoire went out the next day on Saturday morning and took his first ever WRC stage victory, and he did it in style, didn't he? Now, of course, there you go, that's the celebration. It's really nice to see. That's what it means to these guys. That's the first rung on the ladder, Kiri, and it's job done now. So then you move on to the next thing, and the next thing is ultimately leading the rally at the end of the day, and then after that it's a rally win. And for me, Gregoire Monster has got the pace to do it. He's definitely stepped up. Luck has gone against him, you know, and he got caught out. He got caught out earlier on. Yes, I'm going to show you where Kiri has chosen for us to sit at the end of this wrap-up show. But yeah, for sure, Gregoire Monster certainly got the pace. He stepped up. I think he's mentally stepped up, and yeah, got a little bit unlucky coming up the mountain. Here you go. You can just see this was this morning. Just look at the steering angle now. He's turning in. Just couldn't get the car to turn basically for that right-hander. We saw all the way up the stage he'd been struggling with understeer, particularly at midway through the corner. He was carrying a lot of speed into there. I suspect there was a bit of ice that caught him out as well, and for me that was actually quite unlucky for Gregoire Monster. We reset, we go again. You can't take anything away from him. The pace has been there. That's the positive that you focus on this weekend. He deserved the top 6 finish.
And I really love living those moments. We've lived it with Tanak as well, you know, the first stage win, the first podium, you know, it's so amazing to watch somebody not have those and then live each of those moments. And it has been fun watching that with Tanak. And then, of course, last season with Sami Payari and Martin Sess, and now it's Greg's turn, you know, and all those moments will come again.
For sure they'll come, and Gregoire will win more stages this year. Yeah. That will happen. It would be great to see him on the podium. You know, he's talking about getting, you know, finishing in the top 5, 6 or 7 times this year. I think that's absolutely doable. There's no question why that's not doable. I'd love to see him on the podium. So let's wait and see what can happen. I think it was unlucky for him. That's all there is to say about it. Reset, go in Sweden.
13 more rounds to do something.
Absolutely, yeah.
OK, well, there was a bit of a tussle this weekend between Tanak and Kalle Rovanperä. That was their own battle. Kalle not really enjoying it out there. That is not the first time that he's not had the best performance here in Monte-Carlo. I don't think be too perturbed by that situation. Kalle, for sure, is going to be absolutely magical in Sweden. I know he made a joke with Molly at the end of the stage if he can figure out how to drive a rally car. We reckon you've got it covered, Kalle.
Yeah. Kalle's been good at the end of the stages, hasn't he? He's sort of accepted his fate. It's very simple. There's nothing wrong with that Toyota. Kalle just doesn't like these kind of stages. They're very busy, very bitty, lots of point and squirt. He's grown up on stages in Rally Finland and Sweden that are really fast and flowing. That's what Kalle Rovanperä is really good at, and also just general gravel rallies. I think he'd be quite happy to just call this his bogey rally of the year. He's got the car, most importantly, to the end of the rally, knowing as well, Kiri, that other people were going to make mistakes around him, and he was going to capitalise on that. That did happen, and ultimately, Kalle's left here in 4th place. He's picked up some solid championship points. Trust me, he'll be a force of nature when we get to Sweden. Yeah,
it's going to be very exciting watch. All right, well, with Tanak Thursday, Friday, I was thinking, you know, has last year rattled him? What's happened then? Then we see him on Saturday. Stage win after stage win after stage win. His performance on Saturday was like, there he is, he's back.
Yeah, and you know, when the car's right, when it's working well for him, I think Tanak in the right car is the fastest package, personally. It's just that everything's got to be perfect. He even said that last night. He said in his interview with Emmy, he said, when the car's not right, I don't seem to be able to drive around the problem as well as other people do. And but I think yes, Saturday afternoon was the only time that the car was right. It was the only time this weekend we've really seen the Oit Tanak that we all know and love. The rest of the time, he has been struggling. He's been on the back foot. That's been as a combination of car setup. He's not been happy with the balance of the car, and it's also been as a result of tyre choice. But at some point of the weekend, everybody's had a bad tyre choice. But yeah, listen, I think once we get to more consistent conditions and Oit has learned more about the tyre and the way it behaves with the car, he'll come back strong.
Do you know something that's so amazing about all of this is that there is no clear person that you can go, yeah, I think they're going to win the title this year. There is so many. This is such a strong field. Yeah,
absolutely. And they're all in really competitive machinery. I don't think there's much to choose between the Toyota Yaris and the Hyundai. They're strong in different areas. You know, on the slower, tight, high grip rallies, I think the Hyundai's got an advantage. On the really fast stuff, the Toyota seems to work well, but there's not a lot to choose between them. And, you know, in terms of drivers, you're absolutely right. People would say Kalle Rovanperä, I guess, but has got a bit of an advantage, but certainly nothing like we've ever seen.
A lot of competition.
Absolutely, it's nothing like we've ever seen before. You know, back in the Sebastian Loeb days, you'd go, yeah, Loeb's favourite to do this, and 9 times out of 10 he would go on and do it. And then there was a Sebastian Ogier dominance, you know, in the Volkswagen days and everything else. You look at it now and go, don't know, could be Newville, could be Tanak, could be Evans, could be Ogier if he sticks around, and certainly could be Rovanperä.
This is going to be one very exciting season. Well, let's just remind ourselves once again of our overall championship standings. It is, as we've said, it's Toyota that are leading the way there with 60 points, Hyundai with 36 and M Sport with 11. I'm chuckling because I just can't believe I can't read it. I blame the bench that we're sat on. It's too
You'd
far
have made
away.
a terrible jet fighter pilot, put it that way. That's as clear as a whistle to me. 20 vision.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's how it sits for the manufacturers. Let's just have a look at WRC2 as well. The Russell boys just gave us a bit of a weekend, didn't they? Yeah,
I mean, Johan Russell, we expected him to be there or thereabouts, didn't we? And obviously he's gone on and converted that into a win. But Leo Russell has been spectacular. He's, you know, his first ever WRC event. Do you want me to do this, or you're all right?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on. There you go. Confirmation: Johan Russell wins WRC2 by 2 minutes and 47.8 seconds. Eric Camilli confirmed in second, and he did that on the power stage in the Hyundai. Leo Russell in third. So we've got the two Russell brothers on the podium. Jan Czerny fourth, and Roberto Dapra. Brilliant to see him rounding out the top 5. How was that?
Magnificent eyes, Czerny.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's how it looks. And the thing is, that also gives you an idea, because Oliver Solberg and, of course, Nikolai Greisen weren't scoring points here, but they were so impressive as well. So here's the celebration. Really meant a lot. And like you said, he's already done the podium here so many times before. We had a heads up that he might be strong, but this was an impressive performance.
Yeah, for sure. And it is a true family affair. And one thing I would say, not just about rallying, but all forms of motorsport, is the majority of the work is done before you even put the car in the back of the truck or the back of the trailer to head to the event.
And you've done it again. You won Rallye Monte-Carlo, and I can see that this one is extra special, sharing the podium with your brother.
Yeah, for my family, too much emotion, I think. Before the start, I think at the end, if it's possible, but during the stage it was completely crazy. Thanks all my team, because I think it's not the driver win this weekend, it's the co-driver and the team, the strategy, the good tire choice, and yeah, so happy.
Enjoy that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so he's just basically said what I was going to say was, you know, when you leave, all the preparation is done by the team and yourself. You work so hard before you even arrive at the event. 90% of the work is done from home, and in particular Rallye is so nice. You can see what it means to him. He's just letting out the emotion. But
also, it's a bit of exhaustion. This rally is enormous, isn't it?
It's mentally and physically exhausting, absolutely. And yeah, like I said, it's a family affair. It was really nice to hear Johan talking about the co-drivers, because they play a vital role. And speaking from experience, they play a vital role in getting you through any rally, but getting you through this rally cleanly. They are so important, and he's quite right to say this rally is won and lost a lot of the time by the co-drivers.
And I learned so much from Julian Negretti, just the level of things that they have to do, the capacity that their brain has to operate at for all of this time. And it's not just the 4 days, it's the days before as well. It's a hefty job for them. So a fantastic way to finish off Monte-Carlo. And I think we're going to be seeing an exciting season ahead in WRC2 once we see Oliver Solberg, Gus Greensmith, Nikolai Greisen all kicking into action, starting to score those points.
Yeah, we'll see Oliver scoring points in Sweden. Gus Greensmith starts his championship in Kenya. And I think it's been quite clever. They've just chosen this as an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
Gus has moved teams, same car but different teams, and Oliver Solberg jumping in the Toyota. So you want to get as much seat time as you can before the counts that you attend the rallies that really count.
OK, well, if you thought you were cold this weekend, then it's certainly going to be cold in Sweden. But there was no being cold on Thursday night, because once again, the fireworks and the atmosphere on stage 3 was just so amazing. There is no other event, I don't think, in the world that can compare to what the fans do, because this isn't orchestrated. This is just fan done. This atmosphere is created solely by rally fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we again, something we were talking about throughout the weekend, you know, we saw how busy the service park was. Well, it was even busier out on the stages, and you just look at the atmosphere out there. You know, it's not just the drivers who want to come and do Rally Monte-Carlo, it's the fans who want to come and experience it as well. And when you've got scenes like that, you realise how much rallying means to people, how much history, heritage there is in this particular rally. And certainly, you know, there's a big party when the event gets underway, and long may that continue. It's a very special atmosphere.
Well, Chenny's going to be spending Valentine's Day with me, in Sweden. But what are you going to be doing?
Valentine's Day that week? I didn't know. I didn't even know.
13th and 16th, such a boy. 13th and 16th of February for Rally Sweden. Let's check this out. Well, get your thermals ready, because that is going to be a good one. And it is just so spectacular. Seeing those rally cars on snow is like nothing else.
Yeah, it's the only time we go to a full winter event on those full-studded tyres like that. And it's, again, an incredible atmosphere. I have heard recently that the conditions are really good. Of course, that can change over the next few weeks. But we've had a bit of rain. Hopefully, that'll give us a really nice, solid, thick ice base. And then we'll be able to go and do some proper winter rallying in Sweden. I'm certainly looking forward to it.
Well, just a couple of weeks to wait until we get to round 2. But Chenny, Rally Monte-Carlo not disappointed in any way.
No, absolutely not. And we're running out of time, but I just want to say that podium today was absolutely correct. That's how this rally should have finished. It was superb, and it's been an absolute pleasure to commentate on it.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have your company as well. So from myself, Mike Chen, and all of the team, what an incredible weekend. We'll see you next time.